We are here at this here terminus, right there. We had our wine, and now we have to hike 6.2 miles uphill back to our tent. And we really have no choice because we put our tent up. So it's kind of a good thing because otherwise we would probably just lay it on the floor somewhere. Anyway, made it to the terminus. This seems wrong. So I got 6 miles left back. Probably gonna get to the camp when it's dark, but that's not gonna keep me from eating some mashed potatoes because I'm hungry. I did have a little glass of wine, so that should make me warm for this hike. And this will be like a 31-mile day with that crazy ending of the reroute. Good morning. It is 7:44. It's the day after I finished my PCT through hike. I have 24 and some miles to make it back to Hart's Pass. I have some climbing, but what I'm really looking forward to is to come across hikers who will come against my... Ooh, look who I found!
Yeah, road runner's here. Well,
Road
she
runner.
finished.
I finished, and he's gonna finish
Yeah,
today.
congratulations,
Congratulations
PCT
to
finisher.
you.
Oh,
So
we are in the
awesome.
end.
Wee, road runners!
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I'm so excited to come across all these thru hikers to whom I'm gonna say congratulations to. It'll be so fun. I expect there to be a lot more today because we had that really bad rain 2 days ago, and I don't think a lot of people went out on trail during that day, rainy day. So if you're not familiar with how the monument trekking works, there are two choices. Either you hike from Hart's Pass to the monument for 30 miles and then hike into Canada for another 8, or you get to the monument and then you decide to hike back the 30 miles. I chose to hike back the 30 miles, as you obviously know, but you might wonder why. 2 reasons. Reason number 1, I didn't want to carry my passport. I didn't want to have it mailed. I'm a little bit one of those people that gets worried about that. In addition to that reason, I hear it's kind of difficult to come back to the United States. I didn't want to deal with that. Yes, I'm a United States citizen, but you never know. You know, like I'm a naturalized citizen, not a born citizen. So there's always that worry. And then reason number 2, when I hiked the Appalachian Trail, I feel like, even though I was ready to be done with the hike, once I climbed Mount Katahdin, I was rushing to get back down. It was all a whirlwind. I had no time to really process what I had just accomplished. And I found that if I hiked back 30 miles, that I would be able to have an opportunity to process my journey. Also, I plan to get to Lion's Den, which is a hiker hostel, which allows me to do more saying goodbye to the community. So that is why I decided to hike back. And I have a view. there's something I've wanted to talk about, which I've been putting off. And I was like, well, I guess the day after finishing my PCT might be a good time to talk about it. I'm just gonna give a heads up, if you don't like talk about God, this might not be the next few minutes for you. I am not religious. My mother considers herself an atheist. I was surrounded by some religion as a child. However, mostly my mom does not believe in God and religion. So, with that said, my early 20s and such, I never really gave God or anything any sort of consideration. And it wasn't until the last few years where I kind of started looking into it. Like I said, I'm not religious and I do not anticipate to be, meaning I do not go to church. I don't believe in it, so I'm sure I'm going to offend all kinds of people that go, either people who are atheists or people who go to church. So I'm sorry if I'm offending you, but I don't see myself ever going to church. I'm not 100% sure about the Bible, but this whole time of hiking the AT as well as the PCT has been about God for me. Meaning, I mean, there's other things, of course, but meaning I wanted to find God, or I wanted God to talk to me, or I wanted God to show himself. And I've had such a tumultuous experience with God in this journey. When I started the AT, I wanted to hike by myself and find God. And God put me with a family that did not believe in God at all. And I was like, why? Why are you doing this? Because if I wanted to find you, why would you put me with people who do not believe? Wouldn't God want to put you with people who believe? And then I started hiking the PCT and I was thinking to myself, maybe it's gonna happen this time. I don't know. And God gave me bougie. It was so nice to be around him because he was able to answer a lot of questions. But also God gave me Boss Bay and Bird Call. Now, I'm not going too much into how Boss Bay was raised. However, she came from a really religious upbringing. But both of them would probably consider themselves more on the opposite end of believing. Probably not so much. So what I liked about that was that I had a really great balance. I had a great balance of bougie being very much a Christian and faithful. And then the other side that kind of was helping me see different perspectives. And then we had somewhere who was, I guess, really into religion and the Bible in her younger years and now finds it maybe it doesn't apply to her. Anyway, so over the last few months, I have really thought to myself that God likes to torture me. There are things in my life that I was saying, I feel like I'm just being tortured. I feel like there is no reason to pray. Because when you pray, why pray? Because a lot of times when people, when I told people, people say, oh, God laughs when you tell him your plan. Well, that's just ridiculous, right? Because what's the point then of praying or asking for a plan if God is going to do the opposite? Praying wouldn't matter. So I'm still struggling with that because I feel like prayer doesn't work because God does whatever he wants to do anyway. So then why even pray? And if God laughs at you when you tell him your plan, then again, why pray, right? So I have a big conflict there. I'm really upset about it. I'm so upset about it. It really bothers me. And when I had these really tough days over the last few days with the worst weather you could ever imagine, I was angry at God. always, it seems like the day before I'm done with my hikes, this happens to me. And I was like, why are you doing this to me? Why do you continue to torture me? And why do you hate me? Like, why? I feel like God, it felt like at that time, God hated me. Like, anyway. And then I was going through the worst weather. I was on top of this bald. Wind was everywhere. Like, I couldn't even see anything. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. I can't describe it. I wish I had it on video. And as I'm like being like slapped all over the place, I realize what trail I'm hiking on. Devil's Ridge Pass. And I thought, man, this isn't God, this is the devil. This is the devil trying to make me not believe. And as I said, I don't really believe in the Bible necessarily. I'm not sure about the Bible, but for some reason, before I started hiking, my through hike, there was this name that came up within the same week 3 times, and which was Job. And the book of Job. And how Job believed in God no matter what. And that day, when I was on Devil's Ridge Pass, it was so dramatic. I screamed and said to the devil, "Is that all you got? Give me more. Is that all you've got?"
This is Sparta!
And so I'm going to believe for now. I'm going to believe that God has something in store for me. So that's my God story. Back to the regular viewing of this trail. I was just thinking about my gear and how some of the things lasted way longer than I thought they would last, and some of it really didn't. I am gonna make a full-on gear video on what I carried and what I thought about it and all those amazing things. But I was thinking about my quilt from Enlightened Equipment lasted 2 entire through hikes. 2. That's amazing. Last night was really cold. I did go to somewhere before I left and asked, and she was very, very freezing as well. And I think it's time to retire my quilt. Plus, I think I'm done with quilting. What I would like, what I want actually, I was thinking of getting the Enlightened Equipment Convert. Right now I have the Revelation, which is just a quilt that has straps, and I like the whole concept of the straps. But the Convert is like a quilt that you can convert into a sleeping bag. So when it's time to invest in that, I really, really, really look forward to really getting like I'm gonna get like 950 fill, 10 degrees, convert. I'm probably gonna get like some bright colors like pink and purple or something. Yeah, that would be so fun. And then there was another thing. Oh, watching somewhere in her Durston gear, I really like the tent she has. I mean, I like my 2-person duplex. She has the Durston 1-person, but not Dyneema. What I really like about that tent is that you can undo the inside while the outside is still standing. And I think I would like one of those tents. Plus, I want to try if a 1-person is enough or if it's like too harsh. But she says that she has room like it's like 1.5 for her. So I really would like a tent like that. So that's like what I've been thinking about, like gear. You know, I'm done with the hike, but I'm already thinking about big block gear because I'm not done hiking. All of you know. I've got some plans for next year. I've got a planned hike for December with bougie. So I'm excited, but I really do need to get a new quilt. I don't think the tent is really that necessary because I just got a new tent from Jan, right? I love my duplex, I really do. But that Durston, that one person, it's just like staring in my eyeballs. At first, I didn't really like it because it has like this huge floor plan. But then I really love that you can undo that inside. That is such a neat feature. I don't think the Dyneema version of that Durston has that. At least Somewhere said she doesn't think so. So I would get that. It's not sil nylon, it's like sil poly or something like that. It also dries incredibly fast. I'm a fan. And I even haven't gotten that yet. But that's kind of like the beginning of my gear talk. So if you thinking about, I want to hear more of this, just wait for my gear video. I probably will do that when I'm in a hotel room in Seattle, because that way I have like space and I'll go over all the gear. Okay, we're back at Holman Pass. This is where we got on. Now I'm gonna hike this part to Harts Pass, which I haven't hiked yet. So all of this is gonna be new, and I have one more big bump and 14 miles left. It's 1:36. I have around 11-ish miles to Harts Pass. Just met a person who watches my YouTube, Reset, and I had lunch with him. That was so nice. But he told me that Harts Pass is a Forest Service road, so I'm a little bit worried about getting out of that pass. So I wonder, because it's so not clear in far out how people get out of there. Like if they get a shuttle, there's also no cell service. And then also the hostel named Lion's Den, sometimes it says that they do like a shuttle in the evening, but maybe they don't. I just don't know. I hope that today, because it's kind of still decent weather, that there'll be somebody just, day hiking, and I can ask them to give me a ride, or give me and Somewhere a ride if Somewhere is gonna get any closer. I mean, I did like probably half an hour to 45 minutes of a break, and Somewhere still not back, not near, probably because them huckleberries, and also she started later than I did. So we shall just see how that all will pan out. But it was nice to have lunch with Reset. What a nice man. So fun. He's going hike today, like he's gonna try to get to the border. He's a section hiker, and he said it's supposed to snow tonight. Let me get out of here quickly. You wouldn't know it looking at the weather right this second, but it just started raining and howling wind, and my anxiety from Devil's Creek Trail came back, put my rain jacket on, and now it's warm, so I'm gonna take it off on my final climb. I am, though I was just saying how I really don't want the PCT to be over, I am done for now, for the next few days. And Washington is really scary. Like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful state. Do not get me wrong. People are so nice, but it's a scary state when it comes to the weather. Not a fan, sorry. But the beauty, I'm loving it. I know some of you might say, wow, she is quite the wuss. Yes, I am. And I am not afraid to say, when you don't have the right gear, I think anybody is the worst. If I had a full-on bulletproof, waterproof outfit, this wouldn't bother me at all. And I'd say I'm pretty strong. But if you call me a wuss when it comes to freezing rain, then I'll accept that nomination. Thanks. And we've got some sunshine all of a sudden. This little guy just like walking in front of me, not scared of me, but scared me like so much. Are you injured? Wow. All right, y'all, I've got 0.8 to Hart's Pass. I will be done hiking for a little bit. I'm sure I'll miss it in like 2 days, so my road trip will entail some hiking. But for today, I'm tired. Now I might still have to do some road walking, we'll see. But for now, I'm just looking forward to get into the pass and see what my options are. Future road runner here on my road trip. I realized that I never talked about what happened after I got to Hart's Pass. That probably would help, right? So I got to Hart's Pass probably around 5 p.m. and there was literally there was like nobody there. There was one red car and the ranger wasn't there. And I was kind of like, what am I gonna do now? Because I don't really want to walk another 10 to 14 miles down this here road right there. So there was another guy named Bob, and he was like, oh yeah, you just missed like a bunch of trail angels taking people down. And I'm like, great. And then he did say, hey, I do have some trail magic, because he was camping up there, but he brought some trail magic for hikers. So I got to eat some fried chicken and some like little sandwiches. And it was so helpful because I was so hungry and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to any kind of restaurant in the evening. So yeah, I did wait a little bit first of all for a ride, but I also waited for somewhere for like about an hour. She didn't show up, and then at 6 p.m. the people of the red car happened to show back up, which was so nice because I was able to ask them if they could give me a ride, and they were able to do so. It was one of those cars that's a little bit lower to the ground, so we were pretty slow going down the hill because it was like a dirt road with like a lot of bumps and rocks, and so it took us a while to get down that mountain, but it had some beautiful views. And then I got to Lion's Den, and I was of course like concerned about somewhere, knowing that that evening there was a snow prediction, really cold temperatures prediction, and I didn't know if she would be able to get a ride back down, but she was able to find one car that happened to come up there, and apparently the ranger helped her flag down that car and asked them if she could get a ride down the hill, and she was able to do so. And she got there probably around maybe 8:30, 8:45, I don't remember, but it was already really dark. And then the next day we got a ride to Seattle, and in Seattle we separated our ways. That was the last time we were together, and yeah, and it's been a journey since. But anyway, that was the end of that day.